TSMO is very important during a winter weather event. Missouri is the transportation center of the entire nation, so it's not uncommon for several $1 billion worth of freight to move within or across the state on any given day. So even a 30-minute closure of a major interstate can cost the state and the nation millions of dollars. It is imperative that we coordinate our resources so that we minimize the impact of any winter event that comes into the state of Missouri. Typically, once there's an event that's in the forecast, we'll have a planning call about 48 hours ahead of the storm with all of our state partners like Missouri State Highway Patrol, National Weather Service, and SEMA. This gives us the opportunity to hear the forecast and kind of formulate a strategy for how we're going to attack the winter event before the storm starts. So typically, MoDOT will make the decision of whether we're going to put a treatment down ahead of the storm. Missouri State Highway Patrol takes the opportunity to remove any abandoned vehicles ahead of the storm so we don't have any hazards as we're trying to clear the roadways. And then SEMA, National Weather Service, communicates out to school districts, local EMS, some of those critical workers that need to make it to work, and then also the traveling public to let them know what to expect. Typically, MoDOT will activate our Emergency Operations Center. And that Emergency Operations Center we typically do virtually. And that gives the opportunity for us to invite any local partners, state partners, onto those calls to really coordinate what our plan of attack will be, especially if we start having winter weather that impacts or starts causing incidents. For severe storms, the State Emergency Management Association will also activate. We have the opportunity for that EOC to actually be piped into the State Emergency Management Association so that we can coordinate all those state resources to really get a good, efficient plan of attack and have a great situational awareness. MoDOT will typically host those situational awareness calls every 6 hours, so we can change strategy or really determine what's happening with the winter weather and severity and shift where we need to. The coordination that we've had with other agencies, local, state agencies over the last couple of years has greatly been enhanced. We used to go out and try to fight those storms, each individual agency by themselves, but whenever you have a winter event, it's like having a traffic incident, but on a larger scale. So you can have multiple incidents at the same time. And when you send one plow truck or one patrolman or trooper out to each scene, you just cannot clear that roadway by yourself. So the coordination that we have, there's a lot of times even a closure on an interstate where we can't get our plows to the location or the front where it needs to be treated or managed. We can utilize highway patrol or local law enforcement along with tow trucks to get trucks that might be stuck moving. And then we can quickly coordinate, get that incident or that location opened up or addressed, and then we move on to the next one. It's been much more effective utilizing all those resources, much quicker clearance for those events.
Our mission is always to keep Missouri's roadways as safe as possible. And certainly during periods of winter weather impacts, that mission becomes even more significant. I'm Captain Justin McCullough with the Missouri State Highway Patrol's Field Operations Bureau. Once we learn of any winter weather that's going to be impacting our state, either a certain part of the state or the entire state, we will work with our state partners, put our resources where they need to be as far as where the impacted areas are going to be. We'll investigate crashes in the event that people slide off the road or have other collisions. And we'll help stranded motorists when winter weather affects their travels. During extreme cold weather conditions, that's often very important, and we try to help people get to their destination as safely as possible. So oftentimes our troopers are seeing firsthand what's going on the roadways and where the impacted areas are at. They will communicate that to our troop headquarters locations through the communications division, and that information will then get sent to the Field Operations Bureau and those of us at General Headquarters. And we also have our Emergency Operations Center staffed at the State Emergency Management Agency, SEMA. And those lines of communication, that's very fluid during those types of events. Oftentimes MoDOT will even send a representative to sit in our communications command center at the troop location so that communication is real time and they know exactly where and what is needed in certain areas of the state. It's one thing to have winter weather predictions, it's another to have exactly what is transpiring on the highway. Our relationship with MoDOT is second to none. The communication lines are always open, whether it's sunny and 75 outside or icy and snow-covered roads everywhere.
A winter weather event will impact the operation of the system. So operating that system, that is part of the overall goals of TSMO, really utilizing and maximizing all of our state resources to really minimize the delays of that winter weather and get our traveling public and that system operating normally as quickly as possible.